Everyone knows what it feels like to lie awake next to someone who snores. But here's the strange part. Ancient humans didn't sleep alone in quiet little bedrooms. They slept in packs, 10, 20, sometimes 30 bodies pressed together in a single cave or hut, breathing, shifting, snoring, all through the night. So how did anyone ever get any rest? And the answer may be much older and much stranger than most people think. Imagine waking up 40,000 years ago. There is no wall between you and the next person. There is no door to close. There is only firelight, breathing, and the sound of a dozen strangers and family members sleeping close enough to touch. Cold nights forced people together. Predators forced people together. A single sleeper was a vulnerable sleeper. Safety meant proximity, and proximity meant noise. Every cough, every grunt, every rattling breath became part of the soundtrack of survival. The real question is, if humans have always slept in crowds, why does snoring bother us so much today? To understand that, we have to go back to what sleep actually meant for early humans. Sleep was not rest, in the way we imagine it now. It was a dangerous window of helplessness. For hours a person could not see, could not run, could not fight. The only real protection was the group itself, and that changes everything about how we should think about the noise. Researchers who study hunter-gatherer sleep patterns notice something unexpected. Groups that still sleep communally today rarely complain about snoring the way people in modern homes do. It isn't that the snoring is quieter, it's that the meaning of the sound is different, but that creates another mystery. If the sound was the same, why did it feel different? Some scientists believe the answer lies in the brain itself. A sleeping brain never fully shuts off. Part of it stays alert, listening for danger, filtering the ordinary from the threatening. And here is where things get strange. Studies on group sleep suggest the human brain can learn to treat certain sounds as safe simply because they are familiar and repetitive. A snore, in that light, was not an intrusion. It was proof that someone else was still breathing beside you. Imagine lying in the dark of a shared shelter, surrounded by low, rhythmic breathing. That sound may have meant something we've almost forgotten. It may have meant you are not alone. It may have meant, if something comes for us in the night, someone else will wake first, but not everyone accepted the noise quietly. Anthropological accounts of small-scale societies describe something surprising. In many groups, there were unspoken rules about who slept where. The loudest sleepers were sometimes placed at the edges of the group, near the entrance or closer to the fire, not out of punishment, but out of practicality. Position mattered as much as patience, and this is where things get weird. In some communities, the loudest sleeper was not seen as a burden at all. They were seen as useful. A body that startled awake at every sound, or breathed loudly enough to fill the silence, could double as an early warning system. Nobody was going to sneak up on a group where someone snored like a landslide, so the very thing we consider an inconvenience today may have once been a survival advantage. But then another question appears. What happened when the noise became too much? When even a tired, exhausted group could no longer ignore it? Some researchers point to simple, almost forgotten solutions. Shifting a person's sleeping position, propping something under their head or shoulders. Even changes in diet and posture were noticed to affect how heavily someone breathed at night. Early humans were not writing medical journals, but they were paying attention. Trial and error over thousands of nights taught small lessons that got passed down without ever being written as rules. The answer may be older than you think, because some of those same tricks, propping the head, shifting the sleeping position, are the very same suggestions doctors give people today. Every time you fluff a pillow to stop your own snoring, you are repeating an experiment that began around a fire thousands of years before recorded history. Every time you share a room with someone and slowly stop noticing their breathing, you are experiencing the same adaptation that once let entire tribes rest peacefully within arm's reach of danger. The technology has changed. We have separate bedrooms, soft mattresses, and doors that close. But the biology underneath has not changed nearly as much. Somewhere in the human brain, there may still be an old, quiet instinct that listens to the sound of another person breathing beside you and interprets it not as an annoyance, but as a signal of safety. The word snoring is modern, the sound is ancient, and the reason we've learned to tolerate it, or even find comfort in it, might not be politeness at all. It might be memory, a memory older than language, older than shelter, older than fire itself. The memory of a species that only survived the night because it never slept alone.